Kenneth Del Vecchio has a long list of credentials: lawyer, published author, filmmaker, actor, and now chairman to one of the most up-and-coming film festivals around.
Ladies and gentlemen, today a message needs to be sent. A message to the political establishment, to the Hollywood boneheads, to the pseudo-intellectuals, and to all those who oppose liberty and freedom. Stop the political correctness. Stop the phonies. And stop being jealous of me. What's the most important word in the dictionary? Loyalty! 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 Loyalty!
I'm Kenneth Del Vecchio, otherwise known as Judge Kenny D, KD Extra Muscle, Muscular Kenneth Del Vecchio Esquire. I've been a judge, a prosecutor, a criminal defense attorney. I'm literally the author of the best-selling legal books in the entirety of the United States. The greatest book ever written on earth is the Bible. The second greatest book is my criminal code book. On top of that, I've taught well over 1,000 police officers, attorneys, and judges criminal law at very high-priced seminars. And I'm a best-selling criminal suspense novelist. And I've written, directed, and produced over 30 movies that star several Academy Award and Emmy winners and nominees that are distributed through industry leaders such as Sony Picters, Cinedigm, Millennium Entertainment, Anchor Bay, Screen Media Films, and NBCUniversal.
Allah protects the innocent with this.
In 1964, I left an underdeveloped eOne and I came back to a modern, thriving country.
I cannot be overthrown. I have the support of 700,000 troops, all of the workers, most of the people, even the people who hate me. They are my children.
And you and your boss have allowed 52 Americans to be held hostage in Iran for nearly 400 days.
By the judgment of the Ayatollah Khomeini, you are to be executed by a firing squad immediately.
And you, sir, I will need your experiences as an Iranian that has served the Shah.
Ayatollahs understand only one thing: raw, untamed, brutal power.
If you live by their rules, you will become like them. That is the only way out of this madness.
I will bomb every oil field from Abadan to Bandar Abbas, every airport, every government building.
I can't lay in my own casket. Every moment's getting closer to being buried alive.
Open up the other coffins.
Don't you dare!
Stay back, woman.
Have you no respect? Have you no religion? You and Sarah can sit by and deny what is happening, but I cannot. This is no longer a country for decent human beings, but for killers and fanatics.
Why won't you wake up? Why won't you wake up?
We will figure this out. We will.
You will indeed figure this out, young ladies. I am your jailer.
You were all on the operating table, all ready to commit murder.
I was about to have an abortion.
Me too.
Your babies will be given life. just as God planned.
You're nuts. You kidnapped us.
You will stay here in this room for the next 7 months until you all simultaneously give birth to your children.
And the capital of Maine is...
Augusta.
Right.
The capital of New Hampshire is Concord. The capital of Connecticut is Hartford. The capital of Rhode Island is Providence.
So how is Anthony doing?
Well, I'm really glad we're meeting, because I do have some serious concerns.
This will wake you from your sleep.
Hey, it's enough! An 18-year-old high school senior who's feeding MMA stars with years of experience, and you get your ass kicked in gym class by an autistic kid?
What can I assist you with?
Shot with a Beretta, switchblade killing, serrated knifing, hit and run, electrocution, poisoning, and my personal favorite, a chainsaw massacre.
I think what you're doing is...
Sick! Officer, get her out of my court!
Don't touch me! Get off of me! No!
Lieutenant Granderson! I don't care how many loads Judge Lamone has dropped into you. I'm trying to catch serial killers.
When I say that I'm looking good! You know what I mean? Because I'm so damn muscular! I'm so muscular. I'm so beautiful. I'm so glad I came into my life. That's the theme song for my presidency.
Mom, I have a message for you.
I need you to tell me if my husband is alive or dead.
Dad will be coming home soon when I prove that I earned my black belt.
Some is as it seems, some is not.
That can't be. He disappeared with Whitmore, like seconds after the shooting. That sounded like Bob's voice.
He's stronger than all of us put together.
Bob! Bob!
Yeah, there are times I'm afraid.
Oh my God. Oh my dear God. Dad!
You think he's alive?
Damn, I got a piss like a championship racehorse. My God, what the hell is that? This is some strong ass shit. I gotta quit this.
What is this?
It's her. She's alive, Robert.
Brandy is dead. She's been dead nearly 10 years.
You listen to this song. It's her.
Rule number 3, gear everything you do to get laid. One reason and one reason only why I went to law school, why I wrote a novel, and why I make sure I never lose a case. To get laid more, of course. That's what every true man ultimately wants. All the fame in the world and all the gold in Fort Knox is worth a bucket of liquid shit if it can't get you a nice piece of ass. Fuck being president, who needs that pressure? I want to get nude with hot broads at all times. All nude, all the time.
That's the kind of lawyer I'm looking for. You got the role.
I'm a wrongfully convicted man, and I've broken out of jail. I'll kidnap the prosecutor, kidnap the judge, and redo my trial. I'll call my witnesses. I'll interrogate them. I'll get the truth. Did you frame me?
This will be a lesson.
What the fuck?
That this nation will never forget.
Was it you?
Brandis, please, no.
How about you? I'll kill them all if they don't confess.
It had to be Mike. It wasn't me. It was him. Torture him.
If you try and fight back, I'll kill you too. I know I'm a hero, but the world sees me
as an American criminal.
You not only have the right to remain silent, you will remain silent while I speak. I am your jailer.
I mean, these girls definitely seem like kidnap victims to me.
But they weren't. We've got confessions, remember?
I think we should definitely call the judge.
Everyone, abortion is legal.
All right, let's take a vote.
Not guilty? Are you serious?
One woman was decapitated. Another, his arm was cut off. And the third, her leg was cut off.
As a collector.
Before the mayhem begins, my dad and I would just like to say thank you for coming to our intimate, private screening of the blood-curdling, brand new hit, feature, terrific, horrifying film, Joker's Wild!
Do you participate in a role-playing chat room?
He was wearing a mask.
She's the type that when she wants something, she'll stop at nothing to get it.
The governor made the mistake in appointing a blind moron, the warden of this unnecessary facility.
Yeah, I don't find your mocking of the warden's disability appropriate, Agent Truman. It's rather indignant for a young woman in law enforcement.
I am not Agent Truman. I am Agent Sheridan. I simply translate Agent Truman's thoughts. He is a genius with a 180 IQ. I am just his mouthpiece. And I am a nobody.
Why was she on that street? I don't know. Bullshit. I think you do know.
This man has no means of communication. He can touch and he can hear, but he's completely cut off from the outside world. He, more than anyone, needs somebody to help him.
But there's new people. Times are changing. They don't play by our rules or any other rules known to man. They're fucking savages.
I made my peace with the occult. I don't bother it. It doesn't bother me.
How many morons does it take to make a movie?
Sound speeding! Say speeding! Action!
The answer.
Cut! What the hell is going on in here?
All of them.
The Van Houten sisters came to Mansionville about 15 years ago. I don't know where they came from, but I'm sure happy they arrived.
With no doctor, architect, pharmacist, or public defender around, everybody knows the month they're on vacation.
To my sisters who share exactly half of my DNA, we are about to embark on our favorite time of year.
What is it, some sort of holiday?
You may have the honor of exterminating the first man.
Patricia, what the fuck?
Just one little discreet goddamn word. Underwear.
I'm gonna be a modern-day Robin Hood. Take from the rich and give to the poor. A redistribution of sorts. A redistribution of wealth.
And government owns all private industry. What do you have?
Communism. Exactly what is the deal?
Your soul. And the millions of souls that I want you to take with you. To hell? Of course.
What they're really saying is because I'm gay, I'm a second-class citizen.
If we take this plea today, we have our freedom. If we don't, we're very likely going to prison.
What have I been doing for the past 2 years? I'm not your husband. I'm your wife.
4 United States presidents have been assassinated, and all 4 had something in common. Abraham Lincoln, James Garfield, William McKinley, and John F. Kennedy were the victimized commanders-in-chief. Conventional wisdom is that Honest Abe angered many Southerners whose economy in large part revolved around the legalization of slavery. And what could Abraham Lincoln's murder have to do with the assassination of James Garfield 17 years later in 1881?
Some guys like chasing women. Some guys are all about the drink. And some guys like the brawl. I'm one of those guys.
We never win. What's the point?
I knew one day I'd have to leave boxing, but I was gonna go out swinging.
Is this something where I should bare my breasts?
No breast, Barbara.
You always want nudity in your films.
Not from a 50-year-old.
I'm gonna be president.
less than 25 artistic savants in the world who hold prodigious skills, and Anthony is one of them.
You're rather clumsy, I guess. Not too athletic.
I ooze sex. I ooze it. I just can't help it. I don't spit out sex. I don't eject sex. I ooze sex. We don't fight fair. We fight to win.
Jake, I know you have your loyalties. You have to make a choice. You can't play both sides of the fence anymore. Make a choice, Jake. Make a choice.
I guess you can't be loyal to everything at once, right? Because then you're really loyal to nothing at all.
Finally. These stiffs should have been hauled to the morgue an hour ago.
Special Agent Truman would like to know the cause of death of these victims.
Agent who? Wait, you guys aren't with the coroners?
No, I apologize. This is Special Agent Truman, and I'm Special Agent Templeton. We're with the FBI. Special Agent Truman is mute, but he is not deaf. I recently graduated from the Academy, where I specialized in languages. I speak English, French, Spanish, Italian, Portuguese, German, Russian, Hebrew, and 3 forms of signing.
Well, I can speak with a Jersey accent, sweetheart, so what?
Special Agent Truman says to shut your fucking wise-ass mouth, or he will knock out a tooth. Several teeth. Agent Truman advises he can bench press over 400 pounds and can easily beat your pansy ass. Now, what was the cause of death?
Oh my God, if only they left a clue.
What is that in your hand?
It's a men's magazine.
What is it about?
Lesbians?
Special Agent Truman would like to see the magazine.
You fucking kidding me? It's not part of the crime scene.
The FBI doesn't make jokes, and we have superseding authority over local law enforcement. You are Lieutenant Archibald Granderson.
I thought you guys were the smart ones.
And you received our email.
I received an email from Special Agent Guthrow. I presume he's your boss.
That is correct.
So you guys are somehow thinking that these murders are somehow tied in with the last 6 on that list?
Yes.
That's bunk.
Bunk? What is bunk?
You're the genius with languages.
I don't know what bunk is. Oh. You mental midgets haven't found any uniformity among the victims because you haven't checked their assholes.
Come again?
Okay. What is under these sheets?
Well, this beauty had her head blasted with a shotgun. One back here had both her arms and legs sawed off. I think that's her foot, but that's you guys' job. And here's my absolute favorite, complete decapitation.
Special Agent Truman would like to see her ass.
Kenneth Del Vecchio, a former New Jersey judge and Republican state Senate candidate. Del Vecchio, or D to the V, as no one calls him, knows there is nothing kids like more than graphic horror films like Final Destination, Drag Me to Hell, and Sex and the City 2. The Life Zone is about 3 pregnant women who are held captive by a sadistic jailer who tries to change their mind about abortion by forcing them to carry their babies to term.
You guys don't buy this electric fence nonsense, do you?
You will all be freed once your babies have been born.
I have a constitutional right to an abortion. I have the right to choose.
I founded one of the world's largest film festivals, Hoboken International Film Festival. And there's a fallacy that Hoboken International Film Festival is named after the city of Hoboken, but it's really named after me. A lot of people think, quite frankly, that I'm a fucking bum. It's Hoboken.
Hoboken International Film Festival.
I think we can get some tickets for Charles Durning. I hope so.
See the world's most cutting-edge movies.
I made the first ever satire about Barack Obama.
The one thing I read that you do with your festival, you always have a controversial film. Is that Obama Nude this year?
Yeah, I would say Obama Nude is going to be pretty controversial. It's already creating a little bit of a storm.
What is it about, essentially?
It's a satire that kind of mirrors the background of our President Barack Obama.
Oh, well, we actually have a clip. Let's take a look.
Take from the rich and give to the poor. Redistributing wealth through taxes just isn't enough. We're going to redistribute everything. No longer will hardworking Americans be able to keep the majority of their money. No longer will hardworking Americans be able to choose their doctors and hospitals. No longer will hardworking Americans be able to choose their jobs or homes or cars. All choice will be made by the government, by me. The only choice Americans will have under my leadership is abortion.
All right, and you star in the film. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Okay.
The chubby face gives me away.
All right, okay.
Steven Spielberg, Quentin Tarantino, they're at the top. However, I'm literally on that rung right below them. I have about 15 movies on Netflix right now.
Most of his movies are more like criminal law and criminal suspense, that kind of thing, utilizing his background as an attorney.
I made a pro-gay marriage movie, An Affirmative Act.
I haven't spoken about the Terry Suchi-Samantha Carlisle trial, not because I am gravely ill, not because of my feelings about the legalization of gay marriage.
These 2 women lied to the world. Terry claiming to be husband, and Samantha claiming to be wife.
I made 2 pro-life movies.
Now here's your law. The 1-month-old fetus is defined, under the law, as a human life, both in the double murder scenario and the defense of another scenario. Now let's apply this law to the facts of the Stacey Horowitz case. Dr. Wise and the others held Stacey to save the lives of the 2-month-old fetuses that were inside her stomach.
I'm so muscular, I'm so beautiful, I'm so glad I came into my life.
I'm amazed at what he does.
I think Ken has such a big following because he's got an unbelievable desire and will and drive.
I'm thinking here as I stand here, being given this marvelous honor from my friend Kenneth Del Vecchio, such an extraordinary man. You all know that.
I've worked with Kenneth Del Vecchio on several movies. The man is honest, hardworking, talented.
That vision and that concept based on excellence and integrity was birthed by one man and his vision for this festival. And that man is the chairman and the founder of the Hoboken International Film Festival, Kenneth Del Vecchio.
I would like to give special thanks to Festival Chairman Kenneth Del Vecchio. I told him on the set of Scavenger Killers that he's the only judge I ever agreed with in a personal conversation. He's got some great views about freedom and liberty. And writing and producing a movie like Scavenger Killers makes him a little bit nuts, but that's okay.
Kenneth Del Vecchio is a great filmmaker and writer and a terrific leader.
If Ken decided he wanted to be a cult leader, in 45 minutes, he would have a crowd around him holding the Kool-Aid, waiting for the word to drink it.
I want to thank Chairman Del Vecchio. He is a man you can see in the movies he's involved with, the friends he has, and in his choosing Middletown. He has a great mind, and he also has a big heart.
So
did you sense that it was tougher for you?
Well, it was tougher for me, in particular, for people that knew me growing up. Everyone always looked at Kenny Del Vecchio, crazy maniac
Tough
type
kid,
guy.
don't mess with him, strong, but never, geez, what a writer.
No, I don't think people looked at it that way. People always knew that I had straight A's, but the predominant idea about me was, how does that happen? You know, because you're crazy, and I don't think anybody would have took me that serious that I could have wrote a book like this and the future ones that are upcoming.
Know your abilities and be confident about them. What is that?
Well, I think that women really like men who are confident about themselves. I don't think they like guys that are weaselly, who are overly modest. I think they like a man who's confident about the things that he's good at, but yet he knows the things that he's not good at.
It's ridiculous, and we wonder why our society is.
Hey, Paul, did you ever sleep with a girl on a first date?
And we sit back and we say to ourselves, what are we doing?
Hey, did you ever sleep with a girl on a first date, Paul?
Huh?
Did you ever sleep with a girl on a first date? Ever? Come on, answer truthfully. Did you? You did?
Yeah.
So you're one of these guys then, huh?
But no.
Oh, she came on to you, right?
But listen.
You're a good-looking guy.
You know
she came on to you. That's what happened.
I really didn't have, somebody really telling me, hey, listen, respect them, do this. I mean, you know what?
Why didn't you tell yourself?
You should be turning around and saying, you know something to our youth of today. Don't sleep with them. Don't do that right away. Hold their hands. Write them a poem. Open the door for them.
I think what you're saying is, Paul,
I'm going to tell you something.
Yeah.
Whatever you sow, you're going to reap. And if you sow this garbage, it's going to come right back on you. I'm telling you.
So did it come back on you?
All right, that's the rules for men. Now, you believe these things, but you did a movie with Jackie the Joke Man and Vincent Pastore and a bunch of other people.
The one attorney suggested that he be killed. The second attorney, who was a former U.S. attorney in the Southern District, in the same office, said to his partner, no, we can't kill him. He's too high profile. We're going to set him up on civil rights violations. 18 months before any of these things supposedly happened.
You are also a competitive weightlifter?
Yeah, I've gone into a few bench press competitions.
Have you done?
I've won.
Did you really?
Yeah.
At what weight class?
I would go in at a 165-pound weight class.
And how much do you press?
On decline bench, where the bench press slopes like that, I can do 450 pounds.
More than twice your own body weight?
It's about 3 times.
Yeah.
And flat bench press, which is where all the competition's in, I do about 385 pounds.
Which is, again, more than twice your body weight.
Yeah.
I'm not going to mess with you, Kenny.
Mr. Winthrop, I reviewed your arguments. And Ms. Templeton, I've listened to your arguments. And I have to tell you, Ms. Templeton, that the defense attorney, he makes a lot of sense. You make 0 sense. Why? This case is the classic example of the he said, she said. It's one person's word versus another's. And when you have one person's word versus another, that's per se reasonable doubt. First point, I'm happy with a Muslim woman, an Italian elf, a half Chinese, half Dutchman getting elected to Congress, so long as they have liberty-minded, small government, economy-boosting principles, which this Congresswoman from Michigan does not. And she also has her first claim to fame being that she's part of the identity politics clan. She's not qualified to be in office. That's a problem to me.
Into the legal strategies with attorney and Democrat Raj Goyle and Republican attorney Kenneth Del Vecchio of New Jersey. It's my opinion, Kenneth, the president shouldn't go near Bob Mueller for a few reasons. 1, I don't trust Mueller. 2, the president has a big mouth, and he likes to talk, and he likes to talk a lot. And that's just not a good strategy when you're facing a possible indictment by someone doesn't seem to like you too much.
Absolutely, under no circumstances should he go and speak with special counsel. And there's nothing good that can come out of it. You don't go and talk with U.S. attorneys, with the Justice Department, unless you're dead in the water. And since Trump is innocent, he's only going to go there to get his words potentially twisted, to get some bogus obstruction or perjury charges filed against him. And you got to look at it first from the criminal law perspective. And as a criminal lawyer, I would advise him 100% not to go. Now, the political angle is secondary, and it's a deep second. But
what are the political ramifications of this? So Mueller's going to do what? He's going to subpoena him in front of a grand jury, so he'll take the fifth.
A couple days, fine. Anything further than that, no way. And yeah, this is unfair. Think about your son, your daughter, when you're thinking about the allegations against Judge Kavanaugh, because this is one person's word versus another's. And there is nothing more unfair for somebody to be charged with a crime or to be put through a media frenzy, have a job taken away from them potentially because of one person's singular word that's uncorroborated. There's no supporting evidence at all. No audio, no visual.
But there is plenty of evidence from Georgetown Prep, from alumni, that Brett Kavanaugh was a drinker. He was a partier. He was the captain of the basketball team. He was on the football team. This sort of fits his MO of going to this kind of party. But LSE denies this ever happened, that he ever went to any of these sort of parties.
David, as you know, the prisons of America filled with people who are there on the words of other people. That's really the basis of our criminal justice system, is witness testimony and victim testimony. Listen, here's the reality. If we had a proper investigation, we really could find out about this. What I don't understand is why the Republicans are so insistent that this thing not be properly investigated. Keep the FBI away. Don't give anybody any time. Rush it through the Senate. Let's find the facts. We don't know what they are yet, but let's find them. We have the power to do that. This is important stuff.
Absolutely. It is completely incorrect that that is the fundamental basis of our criminal justice system.
So let's get to that point right away. Impeachment is a constitutional right of the Congress. If the House of Representatives decides they want to impeach this guy, they're going to go for it. In terms of when it comes down to whether Rashida Tlaib should have talked about it or not, all politics are local. Obviously, the people in her district agree with her. That's why she's in Congress. And frankly, as a Democrat, I strongly support impeachment of Donald Trump. He's the enemy of the American people, and anyone who supports him is frankly an enemy of our democracy. End of story.
Wow, that's a really strong comment, Hamza, and a completely baseless, meritless, and kind of obnoxious one, since you're talking to a guy right now who's a supporter of Donald Trump. You seem to want to pick and choose.
And you're an enemy of the American people. No argument there. I've seen your movies. They're terrible all the way around. Really poor taste,
you seem to be a total clown to me who has no couth and no understanding of the Constitution. You want to pick and choose what you think is constitutional and what's not. You made this absurd comment that the Electoral College is something that's a technicality, and then you said impeachment is part of the Constitution. That's the only thing that you said right so far. You probably don't even know how impeachment works. That first the Congress has to impeach somebody, then the Senate has to convict them. You seem to want to hang people based on no evidence.
Apparently you don't know what Congress is, because the Congress is both the House and the Senate.
I think I'm highly qualified to understand.
And hasn't delivered. So it is something that I think should be applauded, that he is going in the right direction. It just, I don't think we've seen him be able to pull it out.
Hold on a second here. The president has delivered on every single one of his promises, and he's attempted to. The Dreamers, you know, these are people that came here by no fault of their own, and it's a moral and just thing to allow them to stay. Now, when we're talking about here with the gun control, this is a well-thought-out process by the president quickly after a massacre has occurred. And I don't think he has any intention of really subterfuging any of our Second Amendment rights. And I don't think that the Democrats should be jumping all over this like that he's not delivering on his promises. It's one thing to say that he's being a little bit walking across the aisle, trying to console America in a time of crisis. But this man's delivered. He's going to get us the wall, and he's going to make sure our Second Amendment rights are fully protected.
Let me step in.
I can give a lot of reasons why not, starting with that there's a massive misconception that there is something illegal about Americans working with Russians in order to influence the election. There's nothing illegal about that unless they collude to commit a crime. There's nothing illegal about the Russian government itself trying to influence our elections, just like Americans and the American government try to influence other countries' elections. It's only if they collude to commit a crime. Now, here, we have no evidence whatsoever that there was any nexus or connection between what the Russian government did in allegedly hacking these computers and anybody in the United States. In fact, Rod Rosenstein said such. Well, let's get real here. Under these circumstances, this is a legal joke, Ford's case. It starts out as a he said, she said case, which is 50% possible that it's true.
Said.
Wait, let me, yep, that's where it gets to. A they said, which makes it worse than a 50-50 case. The he said, she said is enough to not ruin somebody's career and their life. Wait, give me 1 second on this.
All right.
It goes to a they said case, like Tal is just saying, because now you've got 4 people who refuse to corroborate her story. She has a retrieved memory versus a real memory. And then on top of it, she can't tell us when and where it happened. And the when thing is super important because it takes away his alibi. If she could have pinpointed when it happened, he could have pointed to his calendar and said, this is where I was on that specific day.
We got to look at the law first here. And the law tells us this. There's absolutely nothing illegal for Russians or people from any other country to be trying to influence our elections. There's also nothing illegal if American citizens joined Russians in trying to influence our election. It only becomes illegal is if they commit unlawful acts while trying to influence it, and that's what this indictment is about. It's about bank fraud, and it's about identity theft. And here's another news flash. The news flash is this, is that countries from all across the world, dozens of them, are trying to influence our election, and Americans are trying to influence elections in all other countries that cross the globe. None of this stuff is unlawful. There's no such thing as the crime of collusion. And, you know, you look at all these Hollywood boneheads and pseudo-intellectuals and politico-liberal nuts, and they're all trying to tell us that there's some kind of laws that have been broken here just by colluding in something.
Right.
Really, what would you do that's so much better? What would you do that's so much better? You seem to have all these great ideas.
Keep your mouth.
You could do something better than Donald Trump on this because no other president's been able to.
Then you'd come home and you'd make sure and verify. You wouldn't make a stupid, useless video just to show off. I mean, it's
what you're
stupidity.
saying
It gives
is
the
just
advantage
words.
to North Korea.
We're going to verify. Of course we're going to try to verify. We're going to do everything possible to try to make sure that they're carrying out their promises. But you can't denigrate it. You should look at this positively.
But you don't
This
need
is a
all
great
the
step.
stupid hype.
You don't like Trump on other issues.
Hype.
Talk about that, fine.
You
but don't dump on
need
this.
the hype. Don't hype. Come home and then verify. But why the stupid video? I've never seen a president do that after a meeting with another country. Never seen it.
What's wrong with doing a video to exemplify what's occurred? It's just delivering more information. I'm not saying that the special counsel or his staff are definitively doing something unlawful. What I'm saying is that I'm highly speculative because just because you have a right to investigate somebody doesn't mean that you could start surveilling them or executing warrants to obtain their documents. You need probable cause to do that. You have to have an articulable, reasonable suspicion that criminal activity is afoot and that what you are trying to take, meaning what you're trying to seize, will derive something criminal from it. And I haven't seen anything with reference to Trump that goes there. Now, we don't know everything. So maybe there is something there. But as far as I can tell, given where this investigation has gone, all roads are not leading back to Donald Trump.
Let's bring back in our dream team.
You got a great guy here in Ken Del Vecchio, an incredible writer.
We'll get some answers to that from former judge Kenneth Del Vecchio.
Joining me now, Judge Kenneth Del Vecchio, a former prosecutor.
As a former judge, if this case came in front of me, I would actually toss it. He's basically on career criminal status.
He's made over 15 acclaimed movies, written several novels and legal books.
Kenneth Del Vecchio founded one of the country's top film festivals.
He's an attorney who's tried over 400 cases, and the man's a former judge.
And oh, so intelligent.